demo environment. Listen, I'm not sat here in a lab coat and glasses. If I can go through this, anyone can. I am going to take you through a little bit of a whistle-stop tour on the Exclaimer platform, and I want to start off with access and sort of that flexibility that I was talking about. So if we go up into the corner here, what we can do under user management is we can give people different licenses. I know that when I speak to particularly IT teams, as I imagine the majority of people are on the call today, what we want to do is hand creative control back to marketing, but we don't want to give them full admin access. And so this is where you dictate the access that people have, and you can define the parameters by which they engage with the platform. So you can be confident that any changes they make, they're in line with what you would like them to. And then you can give them that full control, risk-free, and not really have to worry about it again. We can kind of hand the keys over, which really goes down quite well. And a big thing as well that goes down with a surprising array of industries is around that centralized branding that we can do too. So for those fonts, for those colors that are critical for how the business operates, I know, Eve brought up towards the start of the call, a fantastic new branding that CSG have. What we can do is we can standardize this and make sure that when these signatures are being created using the signature editors I'll go into, we really don't have to rely on people to make these changes ad hoc. These will already be applied, and so we're limiting the amount of things that they can, sort of veer away from. And this goes all the way down to, common logos, icons, and then banners and disclaimers as well. Disclaimers being, most important for compliance. So how do we actually make those signatures up? And as I mentioned before, if I can do this, anyone can. There are a number of different ways people use the drag and drop editor. I think the most common is just to give this to a design team, a communications team, whoever looks after your emails. And what we can do from here is we can get very sort of personalized with what we include, what we exclude. And I want you to just keep an eye on the window here at the bottom, because any changes that we make up in this signature here be reflected in real time at the bottom. And I think the reason why I bring that up is because there are multiple people that I speak to who have maybe something similar in place or are trying to do something similar on their own. But whenever these make these changes, they have to go out, they have to test this email, they have to come back in, and that really defeats the point of putting something in place to automate a lot of these changes. So by having this update at the bottom, we're just going to replace this with an image. Sorry, Alex. But we'll just put that in, again, with one of these preloaded images, giving people that freedom to choose from. We also have the option to embed custom images. So when that sort of comes across and you are putting out a different campaign, by embedding this, we can have those one-off differences and we can apply these to different departments in the organization. But before, again, just want to show the array of things we've got on the left here. But before I dive into how these are actually sent out, just want to touch on some of the smaller things that do make a lot of difference. So if we go to size at the bottom here, and we are looking at this icon, here we go. So if we were to put the width to 500, say, again, I don't know why anyone would want to put it that big, but as you can see, we have that control and we can make those changes in real time. Just pop that back down. And we can make those small changes, add padding to various elements. So if you keep your eye on the logo, again, those small changes that really do make a lot of difference, and we can make sure that we get very, very personalized. When it comes into how these are applied, so if we go into the manage section here, and we have an overview of senders. So there is that option to put a signature to everyone in the organization. Everyone has that exact same signature. But again, speaking on this aspect of control, by connecting to Active Directory, we can pull certain groups that are already in your AD, and we can add different groups and make sure that these, can get very specific. Again, when it comes to specific senders, and depending on the, how dispersed your office is, we can actually, through the advanced query, put this down to, it's a big drop-down menu, but let's just say street. We can layer these attributes now, and we can have different signatures for different teams in different offices. So you're not getting rid of that personalization. You're just making sure you can do that in a way that's sustainable and can scale with the business as well. And one thing that I should mention as well when it comes to arranging some of these promotional campaigns, again, what we don't want to do is go back into this console every single time and schedule campaigns that really don't change, in line with seasonal promotions. If you pop a Santa hat on a Christmas, what we can do is we can save this banner and then we can roll this out during that specific time frame. Again, making sure that you're not really in this console, or should I say, marketing is not really in this console. They can just be rest assured that this is going to go out. And just one more, because I've made that change. That's going to make me, there we go. And then one more thing that we can go into is the application of this. So we've got two. We've got a method that will apply on the server level. So that will make sure that every email sent out will have this stamped and make sure that branding will be consistently applied. But we've also got that client side, or what we say, see before you send. So when you're composing this email, you can have an array of different signatures depending on the level of trust you give your users. And what this means is that they can choose which signature is most applicable based on the person they're talking to. And this allows them to see what they're sending before and then make sure that that is the right decision. Perhaps you're chasing some G2 reviews. Perhaps you'd like to push some LinkedIn posts. You can empower the user at this point and make sure that they are feeling involved in this. Because what we don't want to do is make them feel like a lot of this has been taken out of their hands unnecessarily.